You're very welcome back to Ireland Day. And our next guest has spent the last almost 5 decades helping to shape the sound of folk music across the world.
Yeah, singer-songwriter Mike Hanrahan joins us now to tell us all about that. But first, let's have a look at him in action.
And then my loving mother and sisters 3 also, they were forced to go with broken hearts from the glen of Aherlow.
Wow, look at that, fabulous. We were just saying, I never knew
Mike.
that Pat Short played the saxophone.
Yeah, he's an amazing. He was a musician before he was an actor, comedian. He went to college, studied music and art. He's an incredible saxophone player.
Wow. Yeah, he went to Limerick College of Art and Design, but I didn't really because that was stunning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
What were you doing there? Do you play with would you jam with Pat?
Yeah, well, we did a TV series called The Songs of Ireland, and we went around Ireland looking for songs. And then we did a few tours together, a couple of gigs, and that was really good fun. But it was great to get Pat, because he was known as an actor, but have him out into all the different towns in Ireland, playing with young singers who had taken on old ballads and given their whole new
lease of life to them.
And some of the stuff was just phenomenal, what happened. So he kind of bounced at that as well.
Because he's such a polymath. He does so many things, but no more than yourself. Because you and Pat, were you Pat's chef at one stage? Pat Short's chef.
Yeah, I was down. He had a pub in Castlemartyr in East Cork. And
Yeah.
I'd taken a sabbatical and became a cook in Ballymaloe. I trained in Ballymaloe.
Yeah.
And I ended up on the faculty in Ballymaloe teaching there. And I was kind of getting tired of that. And then Pat says, I need somebody to run my kitchen. So he was the next village. So I said, yeah, why not? We know each other.
Yeah, was he in and out all the time then?
Yeah, just for eating.
He'd phone you up. What are you making me today?
He would walk into, he'd drive down, he'd walk and he'd go, how are you?
What were the sessions like in Ballymaloe? Rachel and Dorina looked like good laugh.
Brilliant. Rachel and I had a great time together. She's a wonderful teacher
Rachel
and chef. A great friend
Rachel
too.
Allen, yeah.
We became great friends. And Dorina I learned everything from Dorina and from Rory, her brother Rory.
Rory O'Connell.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And when I worked there, I was getting free tuition as well as a teacher.
Yeah.
for a course I'd paid a lot of money for.
Yeah.
So it was good for my skills and
But you obviously love that variety of just doing it. But take us back then to the start and Stockton Swing and how it all began.
Well, we were just a bunch of guys in West Clare. The lads had been All-Ireland champions. I'd been writing songs and I'd been singing with Maura O'Connell. They asked me to join the band and they took on my songs. And we took the music into... Yeah. Cool or what?
Cool or what? Look at that.
It is.
Isn't that just a great picture?
Yeah.
That was over by Guinness's in Dublin, yeah.
Wow.
Gorgeous. And we met this great producer from Clare, PJ Curtis, and he took our music and brought it into this new era, and we kind of changed the sound of Irish music. And we had a lot of fun.
But it really is, like when you talk about what Planksy and them were doing in the 70s and then moving into Stockton's Wing in the 80s, it is part of this whole movement. Like you were seminal in what was happening there, bringing Irish folk to this next level.
And we were very lucky. 2FM had just started.
Yeah.
So the young DJs, Ian Dempsey's and all those, they kind of jumped on board and played our music. They loved it. So it was with their help as well. Terry Wogan and BBC took to the song and started playing it. And I think music has to go through all those different, like nowadays it's back, it's amazing what's happening now. Bands like Lancome, oh my God, I love what they're doing. Amble, all these things that are happening now.
Kingfisher, everything that's doing that. Yeah.
Like, we forget that how important radio plays were those days. Like, they were vital for a band.
Huge. I mean, when you think about, I often say to people now, when we were releasing singles, we had 8 weeks to break a single.
8 weeks.
Yeah, and you'd work your butt off getting into little cubby holes in RT or whatever it was to get the single out. Now you have about 8 seconds.
Yeah,
you know?
And if it doesn't hit, you're gone.
Yeah, it's such a... So it's a different world now for the younger artists, but they have taken it on board and they control the online stuff really
the online
well.
stuff is
and they're really...
perfect.
They're very savvy at it, a lot of the bands. But that was the way it was. It was great times.
You had this huge success with Stockton's Wing. You went your separate ways, but you come back together.
Yeah.
Came back together. And that kind of meeting of minds again. What was that like after a break?
Well, it's always a joy to meet the lads.
Yeah.
And we don't have to rehearse anymore.
Oh, it's there.
You
It's
just
muscle
do it,
memory.
is it?
We rehearsed for 40 years. so there's no band meetings. It's so cool. And
What were the band meeting like? Is that where the friction happened?
All band meetings, they should never be allowed. They should be banned.
Why?
What happens in a band meeting?
Because bands just, you get to voice your opinion when you shouldn't be, just play the music.
That's a good one, isn't it? Just play the music. We know what we're doing.
Any band who'd hear me saying that, no band meetings, they don't understand. Yes, please, no band meetings. But we get invited to festivals, and that's why I want to talk about the Hibernacle Festival.
Yes.
We got invited to play Hibernacle this year. We're only doing 3 gigs this year. Hibernacle is such a gorgeous festival because I know Una who runs it, Una and Maeve, the 2 sisters from Turning Pirate, and I've been at the festival, and it's just a homely, good vibe. What do they call it? They have some kind of a name for the. It's a very fancy name, but I can't. But it's
a fancy name.
Yeah,
it's up in Rathfarnham,
in Dublin,
and sort of up in the mountain part of Rathfarnham.
And there's this house called Orla House, which was one of the old big estate houses. It was bought over by a couple of young entrepreneurs a few years ago. They opened it up for festivals. So the entire house is used for the festival, and then in the gardens and in the forest they have these little stages. Yeah. So there could be 4 or 5 small stages. There are no big screens and razzmatazz. The only big screen this year is for the hurling final, the All-Ireland hurling final.
Oh, it'll be on the same day.
It's on the 18th and 19th of July. Yeah. Limerick, Galway.
I know. Don't go there.
What's the West Clare man saying? Are you okay after Sunday?
Well, we were hoping to go early. We were hoping to go early for the match, but
I know, you can imagine. You're like, what time are we playing?
Yeah,
It was after Sunday. Clare did so. I'm not being patronising. It was an amazing match
and great, and it's going to be a great final. And we're very proud of our team. They did us so proud.
Yeah, and Shane O'Donnell has been such a soldier for Clare.
Incredible, and I'm a staunch Clare supporter, but it's a game of hurling. Yeah. You win and you lose, and you just move on. Well done to Limerick.
Who will you be going for when you're watching it at Orla House?
We are surrounded by Galway and Limerick.
I know you are.
Far be it from me to make.
He's not going to say anything.
You're not going to make a prediction on that one, or even say.
I want to enjoy a good game.
The
festival is in Orla House. This is in Rathfarnham in Dublin, County Dublin. It's on the 18th to the 19th, and it's got people there like Lisa Hannigan, Stockton's Wing, Paul Noonan, Gemma Hayes, Wallace Bird, Carice Blankton, Scullion. There's so much going on. It's absolutely.
And you said there's a lovely family vibe to it.
Beautiful, and I got to know Wallace Bird in the last couple of years. I absolutely adore her, what she's doing. She's got a great new album. And Scullion are on the same day as us, and we used to tour together back in the day, and so to meet Sonny and all the gang again would be really.
Well, you're still you're touring with Eleanor Shanley, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eleanor's brilliant.
She's great.
She's amazing.
And you
singer.
did a single together and everything.
We did a full EP.
Full EP.
For the first, we've been singing together since we played with Ronnie Drew back in the day, and we've never recorded together as a duet. So we did 4 songs. And lo and behold, the sleeve of the new EP is a work of art from Eleanor.
Yeah, because she's an artist.
She's fabulous.
She just went back to art, and she's got her first exhibition in August in Kilkenny, and it's going to be amazing.
She is so unbelievably talented. She does beautiful things. But it was Ronnie Drew who brought you together.
Yeah.
And that collaboration you had with him. What a man.
I worked
with
Ronnie
man. He was a great man.
My God, I loved him, and I miss him every day. I genuinely miss him. We were great pals. We were great friends. We travelled around the world together, and we shared so many interesting times together. And his family as well, his wife Deirdre, and my wife Donna, they were great friends.
Yeah.
And
he was one of those, the amount of people always said to me, anytime I've met him, is an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
A gentleman. Yeah. He really was. And a fabulous musician as well.
And I got him at the height of his like creative genius.
Yeah.
He had written a couple of theatre shows, and he'd asked me to join him on stage, and his entire focus was that theatre show, every morning, noon, and night. So I learned so much from him as a professional, and we had lots of fun, and we enjoyed our food, we enjoyed nice hotels, and we had.
What was his thing? No. Only Aer Lingus, no Ryanair.
He said, my contract will have to be a nice hotel, nice restaurant, and no Ryanair.
That was it. That was his rider.
I just say shade from beyond the grave is what's happening there with Ronnie Drew. And no band meetings, I'm sure you didn't have to have.
No, didn't have to have either.
This is, as we mentioned, this is the Hibernacle Festival running at Orla House, Rathfarnham in Dublin, 18th and 19th of July. Stockton's Wing with Mike Hanrahan are going to be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Gorgeous having you here today. Thank you so much.
Lots more still to come in Ireland, and we'll take a quick break.